In the competitive world of online gaming, an unfortunate rivalry between two players, Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill, escalated beyond the digital battleground, setting off a chain of events with far-reaching consequences. Their story, which began like many others in the gaming community with a friendly wager over a match, took a dark turn. Wager is a common practice among gamers to add an edge to their competition. What started as a typical gaming session soon spiraled into a serious conflict. This rivalry ultimately led to a dangerous swatting incident, an ill-fated gaming prank that would shock and dismay the online community. The tension mounted as the game progressed. Viner and Gaskill, each determined to win, engaged not just in virtual combat but also in a battle of wits and words. The stakes were trivial, a small sum of money, but their pride turned the bet into a contentious issue. The refusal to honor the wager ignited a fiery exchange between the two, transforming their competitive spirit into a personal vendetta. Their online altercation grew increasingly hostile. Viner, frustrated, resorted to a dangerous threat. He warned Gaskill of swatting him, a term well known in the gaming community for its severity but often thrown around lightly. Unintimidated, Gaskill responded with a defiant taunt, daring Viner to follow through on his threat. He even went as far as providing an address, a move that would unknowingly set the stage for a tragic outcome. In the impulsive and often anonymous world of online gaming, the dispute between Viner and Gaskill was a stark reminder of how quickly situations can escalate. After their heated disconnection from the game, the rivalry between Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill escalated beyond their online gaming dispute, leading to a dangerous situation in the real world. Viner reached out to Tyler Barris, a person notoriously known within the online community for his involvement in swatting incidents. Barris had gained infamy for initiating these hazardous situations by making false emergency calls, often seen as a twisted form of a gaming prank, intending to provoke a significant police reaction to a specified address. Armed with the address that Gaskill had tauntingly given, Viner urged Barris to carry out the swatting call, a decision that pushed the boundaries of a dangerous game too far. On the evening of December 28, 2017, Barris placed a chilling call to the Wichita Police Department. With calculated deceit, he fabricated a distressing scenario, claiming he had shot his father and was holding his family hostage, threatening to set the house ablaze. The address Barris cited was the one Viner had given him, leading the police to prepare for a high-stakes intervention, unaware it was a falsified emergency. The police, operating under the belief of an ongoing violent crime, mobilized swiftly to the reported address. Barris's convincing report left no room for doubt in the minds of the responding officers, who were geared up for a potentially hazardous situation. Unbeknownst to them, they were stepping into a web of deception, a hoax born out of an online gaming dispute. On the cold evening of December 28, 2017, the quiet neighborhood in Wichita, Kansas, was abruptly disrupted by the sudden arrival of police vehicles and armed officers. Believing they were responding to a dangerous and volatile crime scene, the officers approached with extreme caution, ready to face a potentially life-threatening scenario. The police formed a perimeter around the specified address, their tactical training kicking in as they prepared to confront the alleged assailant. The neighborhood, typically serene at this hour, became a scene of intense activity, with police lights piercing the darkness and officers taking strategic positions. Neighbors, alerted by the commotion, watched anxiously from a distance, unsure of what was transpiring. Inside the house, the resident, unaware of the false report that had led to this heavy police presence, was thrust into a bewildering and frightening situation. As he stepped outside to ascertain the cause of the disturbance, he found himself suddenly in the crosshairs of a high-stakes police operation. The officers, under the impression they were facing a dangerous criminal, commanded him to show his hands and comply with their instructions. In the tense moments that followed, a tragic miscommunication unfolded. The resident, confused and startled by the unexpected confrontation, made a movement that was misinterpreted by one of the officers. In the high-pressure environment, where every action was perceived through the lens of potential threat, this movement was seen as a possible aggressive act. Reacting to what he believed was an imminent danger, an officer discharged his weapon. The shot echoed through the quiet night, and the resident collapsed, hit by the bullet. Andrew Finch, a 28-year-old resident of Wichita, Kansas, lived an ordinary life, far removed from the online gaming world that would inadvertently lead to his tragic fate. Described by those who knew him as a family-oriented man, Finch led a quiet and unassuming life. He was known to be a loving father, deeply devoted to his 2 young children. His days were typically spent caring for his family and attending to the routine responsibilities of everyday life. On the night of December 28, 2017, Finch was at his home, a modest residence in a peaceful Wichita neighborhood. The evening was like any other for Finch, with no indication of the extraordinary and tragic events that were about to unfold. He was in his family environment, possibly unwinding after a day's work or engaging in typical household activities. The calm of the night was abruptly shattered when Finch, noticing the unusual presence of police outside his home, stepped out to investigate. This simple act of curiosity tragically placed him at the center of a high-risk police operation, a victim of circumstances far beyond his control and comprehension. Finch's ordinary life was abruptly ended in tragedy. In the aftermath of the tragic shooting of Andrew Finch, authorities swiftly embarked on an investigation to unravel the events leading to the fatal encounter. The initial confusion and shock surrounding the incident quickly gave way to the realization that the situation was the result of a hoax call, a dangerous prank known as swatting. The Wichita Police Department, in collaboration with federal law enforcement agencies, began piecing together the digital trail that led to this tragic outcome. The authorities traced the hoax call back to Tyler Barris, located in Los Angeles, California. He was apprehended by the Los Angeles Police Department just a day after the incident, on December 29, 2017. Further probing uncovered the roles of Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill in instigating the swatting. Viner's communication with Barris and Gaskill's provision of the address that led to Finch's residence were key pieces in understanding the full scope of the event. Both Viner and Gaskill faced legal repercussions for their part in the incident. Tyler Barris, identified as the person who made the hoax call, was the central figure in the case. In November 2018, he pleaded guilty to numerous charges. In March 2019, Barris was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Casey Viner, who instigated the swatting by contacting Barris, pleaded guilty to charges related to the incident. In September 2019, he was sentenced to 15 months in prison. This sentence was accompanied by a 2-year period of supervised release, during which Viner was barred from playing video games. Shane Gaskill, the intended target of the swatting who provided the address used in the hoax, faced charges of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. However, reports indicate that the charges against Gaskill were eventually dropped. The Wichita incident, an unfortunate result of a swatting prank gone awry, starkly demonstrates the severe consequences of reckless online behavior. Highlighting the critical dangers of swatting, this tragedy reveals how seemingly playful actions can tragically impact real lives. It emphasizes the need for increased awareness and responsibility within the digital realm, especially among young gamers, to prevent such devastating outcomes.